Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in today's second video, so done the 5-day forecast already. You can find the video for that by scrolling down the homepage a bit, and it's underneath the link ads. Going to be a changeable 5 days coming up, starting off with cool easterly winds, and then we're going to see a change to milder, but also more unsettled weather over the weekend. Check out the 5-day forecast, see more about that. There's also a written version of the 5-day forecast. You get that by the button at the top of the page. This is the 40-day look ahead with the Beijing Climate Centre. So we're going to be going out into the second half of November with this particular update. Broken down into 10-day periods, we'll have a look at the next 40 days forecast from the Beijing Climate Centre model. You can find a link to the Beijing Climate Centre model on the links page. So, before I get on with that, just to say about the ads, already said about the link ads, there's links for articles all over the pages, have a browse widgets, click through links. If there's any articles that you're interested in, you'll be having us to pay for our website. Thanks very much for doing that. And just remember that with all long-range forecasting, particularly with long-range models, it is highly experimental, so just for fun, the charts are there, we might as well look at them, but don't take it necessarily all that serious, especially when we go beyond sort of a week to 10 days. So we'll start with the 500 millibar height anomalies broken down to 10-day periods, next 40 days. Then we'll have a look at corresponding temperature and precipitation anomalies that go with those heights. So this is the first chart we have. This is for the 11th through to 20th of October. So the 10 days that we've just started. Blue extrapolates to below average heights, which is extrapolated to low pressure, and the brighter colours, yellow, orange, red, they extrapolate to above average heights, which is high pressure. So for the coming 10 days, we still see the influence of the northern blocking that we've had through the first week to 10 days of October. That's still around as we're going into the coming 10 days, albeit losing its influence over time. Got a trough of low pressure to the south, but is turning things more unsettled. So this is a transitional period. Really, we're starting off with those easterly, northeasterly influences, but over time, during the coming 10 days, we're going to find more of an influence coming back from the Atlantic, at least for a time. That may not last too long, but certainly for a while over the weekend into next week, it does look more unsettled. This is how the second 10-day period is looking. This is going from the 21st through to the 30th of October. We have above average heights then to the northwest of the country. So the ridge changes its position a little bit. This still looks probably quite cool, actually. I would have thought winds are still coming round from a northerly type direction, or maybe northeasterly, or maybe northwesterly, but coming from a northerly type source. So fairly cool, I think, still going into the final stages of October. Probably quite a bit of dry weather around with that as well. The next 10-day period, going from the 31st of October through to the 9th of November, shows the ridge just generally through the country. So I think what's happening here is that very gradually this ridge is moving southwards over Western Europe, and probably by the time we get through towards the end of this period, we will be starting to see the jet stream coming back, perhaps. So a transitional period, starting off quite cool, maybe very dry, and then probably turning a little bit more unsettled and milder later on. And then the final 10-day period, which goes from the 10th through to 19th of November, shows westerlies coming back really below average heights, return to the north, the above average heights to the south. So the westerlies are returning. That's turning milder, but it's also turning more unsettled as well through that middle 10 days of November. So temperature anomalies look like this. The coming 10 days, the 11th through 20th of October, generally comes out cool on average. Notice how cool it is as well across most parts of Europe. Very cool, even quite cold 10-day anomaly showing up there. The next 10 days, though, going from the 21st through to 30th of October, we find those cold temperatures receding into eastern parts of Europe as it turns milder out to the west. Actually, it's just near normal, really, with the temperatures, but they are recovering a bit there in the last 10 days of the month compared to what we have in the first 10-day period. First 10 days of November, this going from 31st of October to 9th of November, comes out a bit milder than average. So clearly the temperatures are recovering here over this 40-day period. It starts off quite cold and it gradually turns milder in terms of the anomaly anyway over the period. And then the final 10 days, which is the 10th through to 19th of November, that looks milder than average as well. So other than the coming 10 days, actually, it looks like a reasonably mild period, especially as we get through into November. Precipitation anomalies finally, rainfall looking like this. So the next 10 days comes out pretty much drier than average across most parts of the country, and the second 10-day period also close to average. So it's a little bit more unsettled there. Not sure about that 10-day period really from the 21st to the 30th of October. I'm not sure the model's getting that quite right based on its height anomaly. I think it should be a cooler 10 days than the model is showing, and probably a drier 10 days than the model is showing as well. So I'm not sure about that. Very often with these long-range models, their temperature and precipitation anomalies don't really make sense with the pressure pattern that they're indicating. So I would have thought take a degree or two of the temperature anomaly and expect it to be a bit drier than the model is showing there for the final 10 days of October. Going into November, this goes up to the 9th of November, and it's near normal with the rainfall. I think gradually the westerlies are returning, so that by the middle 10 days, the 10th through 19th of November, we see we've gone wetter than average then. So as we get into November, I think there's a very clear trend there to turn things milder and gradually more unsettled. So we probably finish up maybe having quite a wet and windy spell through the middle part of November. That's in the 31 to 40 day time frame, so it's right at the extended range of this. So obviously big health warning on that. So in terms of what we've got coming up next 40 days, if model is correct, looks like we're going to keep it quite cool, I think, going through the second half of October. Maybe not quite as cold in terms of the anomaly as we've had it through the first half of October, but I think temperatures will still be bit below average, and a fair amount of dry weather coming up as well, I think. And then going to November, and I think the trend through the first half of the month is to slowly turn it more unsettled and milder. So by the middle of November, we might be finding ourselves in a bit of a wet and windy Atlantic-driven spell. That's how it's looking this week. As ever, it might look completely different next month, because that's next week, I should say, when we do the next 40-day look ahead, because that's the nature of these long-range models. They are prone to quite a lot of chopping and changing. So we'll have a look again next week. But that's all now. Check out 5-day forecasts if you haven't yet done so. That's all now, and thanks for watching.